Alright, so it's currently like nearly midnight as I'm recording this, but I've been on Twitter a lot lately. And since movies is my main thing, of course, I spend a lot of time on quote unquote film Twitter, where people think they know what they're talking about when they try to talk about movies, but they don't, and it's very apparent, and they just talk and they just complain, and they don't think even a little bit about how you write a story or how you shoot a movie, how you edit it, how you frame it, how you do anything. It's just, it didn't happen the way I wanted it to happen, therefore it is bad. Movie is trash, poopy, doo-doo, throw it in the trash can, set it on fire, throw it at the principal. And I'm a little tired of it. And that's not to say that people on Twitter don't know what they're talking about, but the more vocal people, the ones that get huge threads of people supporting them and backing them up and being an echo chamber for them, is typically people that don't understand. And one of the things that I've seen a lot lately is people complaining about Tony Stark's death or sacrifice in Avengers Endgame. Everybody's complaining like, oh, it doesn't fit his oh, it doesn't fit his character, or oh, he deserved better. Oh, they killed off Robert Downey Jr. and obviously he still wanted to do it. And it's just, I've heard so many complaints about it. Also, I want to apologize real quick for the footage that you're seeing not really matching up too much with what I'm saying. It's more just for you to not have to see what my room looks like under the crappy friggin' ceiling light. It's just to help you guys out. You can put it on as background noise, whatever. Doesn't matter. Point is though, I want to not really defend the Russos or anything like that, because I don't think two grown men need defending. I just want to explain that Iron Man's sacrifice was probably the only way that not only Avengers Endgame could have ended, but for Iron Man's story to end. And I want to start with one thing that was kind of ludicrous that I saw, because it was like, what if it took like a snap from all 6 Avengers to defeat Thanos instead of just the one? It's like, well, okay, one of them was dead already by the time they got the stones. That's how they got all of the stones. Black Widow had to die, or else they wouldn't have gotten the Soul Stone. Seemed pretty simple to me, at least. I don't know. Also, what were they gonna do? All hold one stone and Captain Planet him to death? Like, what? What were they supposed to do? One of the twin powers activate, bump their fists together? And who was gonna hold the Power Stone? Like, the thing that if you're literally not strong enough will turn you to dust. And we saw Thanos hold it in his bare hand, and it was like cracking his arm. So if Thanos is barely strong enough to hold it, what makes you think any of the Avengers are strong enough to do it? Even the Hulk, who is kind of nerfed when he's in Professor Hulk form. Another thing I want to address is I saw somebody say, if Tony Stark invented time travel, why didn't he build a suit that could withstand the snap? Couple reasons. A, he didn't invent time travel. Bruce Banner invented time travel. Tony built a GPS. Why didn't he build a suit that could withstand the snap? Why would he? Why would he do that? He built the gauntlet that could withstand the snap. Why would he expect to need to snap with his own suit? What would be the purpose of that? I'm just gonna make a regular Iron Man suit, but you know what? I think I'm really gonna have to snap my fingers with the Infinity Stone. So let me just make sure my suit can withstand that. It just seems like something I'm gonna need to do. So just go ahead and keep building the time machine. I'm just gonna make some adjustments to my suit, make sure I can withstand it. Like, excuse me? What? That doesn't make any sense. Why would? But I've seen a lot of people say like, oh, they're doing Tony dirty, whatever. Tony has had a very interesting journey over the last few years, and I've talked about it before. He's been in places where he wanted full control over his own destiny. There were times where he wanted to fully relinquish his power, his authority, his responsibility, so that if it's not him making the decisions or calling the shots or whatever, then anything that goes wrong isn't his fault. It's not a mistake he made, so he doesn't have to face the repercussions for it. And yeah, it's kind of like, I wouldn't even call it inconsistent. I would just say it's kind of a shady thing for him to do. But then again, he's Tony Stark. He's a flawed, broken, wrecked character that's been through a lot, and it's affected his character in a lot of ways. Like at the beginning of Endgame, he's very, very angry at Steve and the rest of the Avengers because it's like, I lost the kid, Peter was my responsibility. and I couldn't keep him safe. That's how he feels. That's why he's so mad at the beginning of the movie. And towards the end of the movie, or I guess towards the middle, when they first start figuring out time travel, his stipulations for getting on board with the time heist are very simple. Get back what we lost? Hope so. Keep what I found? Have to. He didn't care. Well, he said maybe not die trying. But it's not like it was a hard thing. It's like, I can't die while trying. It's just, I want to keep my family and I want to bring back who we lost. Apart from that, nothing is really overly important to me. And it's a callback to Avengers Age of Ultron. I've seen that Elizabeth Olsen thought that the flash, like the vision that Tony had, was more of a reference to what if Ultron had won. And that's an interesting way to look at it, but real quick, I'm gonna play the scene for you.
You could have saved us. Why didn't you do more?
And then at the beginning of the movie, he's like, I had a vision a long time ago, I didn't want to believe it. Like, it's obvious that he saw it coming, and the reason he fought so valiantly against Thanos, the reason he went to Titan to fight Thanos and did the best he could, is because, as far as he's concerned, this is what his entire career as Iron Man has been building up to. It's why he made Ultron, it's why he was a backer of the Sokovia Accords, it's why he's carried on the Avengers, it's why he's done everything he's done, is because he thinks he has to defeat Thanos. I mean, Captain America said, why didn't you do more? And it's like, well, if I do everything I can, then you can't say I didn't do more, because I did everything that I could. So, in the heat of the moment, when he's, neck deep in Thanos' goons or whatever, Thanos is like a second and a half away from snapping his fingers. Captain America couldn't get there in time. He just got knocked out. Thor couldn't get there in time. He was busy. Hulk couldn't get there in time. Nobody could have gotten there in time to bail him out. Everybody was occupied. Iron Man was the only person that was able to get there, and he was also the only one that was able to create something that could socket the stones and use them as a gauntlet. Like, everybody else would have had to take it from him, wait for the size to adjust to their hand, and then put it on and snap their fingers. And in that time, Thanos could have snapped their neck and taken it back. It's not like Thanos is this weakling without the gauntlet. I mean, point is, the poetic irony, I want to say, of Iron Man being the one to defeat Thanos, because Thanos in Infinity War was an antagonist for Iron Man and for Thor. They had the strongest arcs in that movie. And in this movie, I would say Iron Man and Captain America have the strongest arcs. But Thanos was never meant to be Captain America's main villain. Never meant to be Thor's main villain. Because everything started with Iron Man, this saga should end on Iron Man. Thanos is an Iron Man villain. Not in the most obvious way, but I mean, in the comics, Thanos was introduced in an Iron Man comic, but that's beside the point. The story basically needed to end with Iron Man being the one to defeat Thanos. Like, hey, buddy, you took the kid from me, and you made me lose, basically. You caused half the universe to die. That was my bad, basically. I did my best to stop you, and I couldn't get it done. But I have an opportunity now to make things right, so it's what I'm going to do. It doesn't seem super complicated, but I mean, whatever. And who doesn't love that? I am Iron Man. That was fantastic. I mean, at least I thought it was. Oh, it was cheesy, it was corny, needed work, or whatever. Doesn't matter. The point is, the book began with Iron Man and it ended with Iron Man. And honestly, as I wanted it to, Tony Stark's death played a huge role in developing Peter Parker's character in Spider-Man Far From Home. It was what I wanted to happen with Iron Man's death. And then you also have to think, last but not least, about Robert Downey Jr.'s feelings about the whole thing, you know? He's recently said that he doesn't want Iron Man to be what his entire career boils down to. He continued to do movies outside of the MCU while the MCU was still going on. Like, I think the same year Iron Man 3 came out, he did The Judge with Mark Ruffalo. He's done 2 Sherlock Holmes movies since he started playing Iron Man. He still wants to do more with his life, and now he wants to start like a friggin' Save the Planet company, and that's awesome. And above all, years and years ago, like this was like in 2016, I believe, he said, as far as playing Iron Man, he wants to get out before he gets embarrassing. He never wanted to play Iron Man forever. The only thing, I guess, is he wanted a very strong send-off, you know, something that would last and be a good end to the character and be a good way to start the legacy and how you carry on the memory of Iron Man without Robert Downey Jr. He doesn't want to come back to the MCU. He doesn't want to continue to play Iron Man. There's all these theories about how he could come back, how he could be an AI. It's not what he wants. He wants to move on with his life. There's more to Robert Downey Jr. than Iron Man. Yeah, Iron Man played a huge role in him gaining back the public's trust and being respected again as an actor and building a true career for himself, but it's not all, you know? It's not all that he wanted. So please just consider any of what I said the next time you want to complain about Iron Man's sacrifice in the movie, or say that he's, you know, whatever BS you have to come up with to make it a problem with the story. Because yeah, Avengers Endgame has issues. It's a movie. They all have issues. But nothing about Iron Man's character in that movie is one of them. And it's just, I mean, I don't know what else to say, so I'm just going to say I'll see you later. And if you made it all the way here, I really appreciate you. Thanks.